What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to See You for You channel. You join me as Carlisle have just been beaten by Oxford by 1-0 in a very frustrating, disappointing, and poor performance. To be honest, 770 Carlisle fans making the long trip down to Oxford. It's 270 miles just to get down there, so you're looking well over a 500-mile round trip there. You're looking about 540-mile round trip, which it's a long way into watching a performance like that. It's not the best. We'll obviously go through the match notes and everything with Carlisle with a 1-0 loss. I think we really struggled attackingly. I don't think we had enough creatively to challenge Oxford in the game. I think we could be playing for another 96 minutes and we still wouldn't have scored. But moving into it, I just want to say Oxford with the midfield of Josh McEachran and Cameron Brannigan, that is a hell of a midfield for League One. That could have been a Premier League midfield if things went differently for them two players. But the first 20 minutes, Carlisle looked the better team. We started really well. I would say it was quite end to end, but I think Carlisle had the better of the chances. The better of the possession, the better of the ball and stuff. We looked like we were sort of playing a long ball. From time to time, it wasn't really working. We did have a lot of quality in the attacking third. Before they had a ball, it was played over the top. It was Harris that went round the goalkeeper and put the ball into the back of the net, but it was offside. Really good defending from our lads to push up and catch him offside. It's a risk when that happens, as you'll see later on, but really well defended this time around. And then Ruben Rodriguez, person who I highlighted in the match preview, he had a low cross that looked really dangerous, but no one could quite get on the end of it for Oxford. And then they went through again, and Huntington stepped up to play him offside like they did earlier in the game, and it didn't quite work, and the player was onside. Didn't really come to anything in the end. Before a few minutes later, John Mellish made a great last-ditch tackle. Really good play from them. Great through ball from their player. And John Mellish stepping in to make that last-minute tackle. And it was a real open game, to be honest. It was a real end-to-end game. I think both teams were giving away possession quite cheaply in the first half. I think it was quite a... they'd lose the ball, we'd win it, we'd then lose the ball type of thing. And we have 4 minutes of added time in the first half, but nothing much really happened. We went into half time at 0-0. And it was a positive first half. It was good. We didn't create a lot. We had a few long range opportunities, but nothing concrete. And then we moved into the second half, and Oxford had a really good 3-on-2 opportunity. Their player just missed the pass, and it went straight out for a goal kick. There wasn't really any clear-cut chances for Carlisle. And we're looking 75 minutes in the game here. Huntington looked like he could have maybe played the ball out to the right to sort of fin back, and he went for a clearance, didn't clear it as well as he possibly could, and that sort of led them to have a free kick, which they put over the bar. But it was quite poor from Huntington, and I don't think he had the best game last week, and he didn't look like he had the best game again this week. But that could just be my opinion. And then we'll talk about the goal. What a poor goal to concede. We had an opportunity, and the ball was played into the box. I believe it came to Dan Butterworth, who was flagged offside. It looked a very tight decision, but it was flagged offside. And then they took the free kick very quick, 2 passes into the midfield, a long ball from the midfield. Their player was through on goal, and sort of, he didn't chip it over Hawley, he sort of put it low, and he just sort of bobbled its way into the back of the net. Really poor goal to concede. A really, in my notes here, I thought awful. So, a really poor goal. Just long ball split us. I said it so many times last year. We conceded the goal from nowhere, really. They've played a couple of passes in the midfield, long ball, through on goal, it went under the keeper. and it's 1-0 to them, and it was a real disappointment to concede like that, and you just couldn't see us getting back into the game. We brought on Joe Garner, Luke Plange, and Jaden Harris, and I just couldn't see us, getting back into the game. I thought it was too late. I think they scored, was it the 79th minute, if I'm not mistaken? 76th minute, sorry. It just gutted, because we did enough to get a draw today. We didn't do enough to win, nowhere near enough to win, but we did enough to get a point. And their commentator said the same things. The commentator said on thing, if Carlisle are going to play like this for the rest of the season, they should be okay. But we need to score goals. And then the rest of the game after they scored, it was really just, we were giving away soft fouls. The referee blew quite easily for quite a few, I must say. There wasn't any quality up front. There wasn't any quality to get the ball in the back of the net. I thought our corners were poor. I thought our crosses into the box were poor. They were either overhit or they were underhit. They never really hit the target. Luke Plange had a shot from 30 odd yards out, and it was just wide, and there was no chance it was ever going anywhere near a goal scoring opportunity. Then we had 8 minutes added time. The referee blew directly on 8 minutes added time. There was nothing else after that. It was 8 minutes and that's your lot. And they were time wasting right from minute 1 of added time, which I thought was a bit pathetic. Second game of the season, and sort of holding it in the corner flag after 2 minutes of added time. But there you go. So Oxford 1, Carlisle United 0. The stats were, the possession was 56 to 44. 14 shots for Oxford, 3 on target, and 7 shots for Carlisle, 0 on target. Now, man of the match, I have picked Finn Back. I thought he had an okay game. I don't really think anyone stood out enough to really be given a man of the match. But Finn Back's going to get that from me. I thought their player, Stephen Negru, is it? I thought he was fantastic. The way they were talking about him and the way he was playing, you would have thought he's like a 35-year-old. He's only 19, I think they said. Really solid player from them. I think Oxford have a really good team. I think Ruben Rodriguez is a quality player. Cameron Brannigan's a great player. Josh McCracken's a great player. The goalkeeper looked good for 19 years of age as well. So I think Oxford, really good team from them. But from us, we need a goal scorer. Yeah. Obviously, Owen Moxon missed out through illness, so I wouldn't read too much into that like a lot of people were doing pre-game. Sean Maguire was a bit of a miss. I thought that was a bit of a strange one. But yeah, on to Tuesday now, where we take on Wigan. Wigan have just beaten Northampton. They came from 1-0 down to win 2-1. Obviously, they beat Derby 2-1 last week, so I think we're going to be in for a real test against Wigan. And I think if we're not careful, they could give us a good lesson in League One football on Tuesday night. But we'll see how it goes. What are your reactions to the Oxford game? What are you thinking? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyone travelling back, safe journey to you. And I have been CU04, and I'll see you.
I never miss, that's fact. Taking big swings, put your hand to the bat. Put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag. Cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light.